Good afternoon, I'm Will Michael, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. A lot of things are made right here in Vermont. Manufacturers not only make things, they're a key part of our state economy. According to the National Association of Manufacturers, Vermont's annual manufacturing output is more than $3 billion. There are roughly 30,000 Vermonters who work in manufacturing, and on average, their annual compensation is about $67,000. When Vermont manufacturers are looking to improve or grow, they turn to the Vermont Manufacturing Extension Center, or VMEC. Well, today we're going to learn more about VMEC and its support for manufacturing in Vermont, including issues like workforce training and the national supply chain. Joining me is Brett Ference. Brett is the Director of Business Development for VMEC. He has experience developing and managing product lines around the world, and he's now returning to his home state of Vermont to put his knowledge and experience to work for VMEC. Brett, good afternoon, and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, as you put together that knowledge and experience, and to get us started, give us a snapshot of manufacturing in Vermont today. What is it? Who is it?
Well, it can be anything. I think there's always a lot of misconceptions associated with manufacturing, that is these massive factories of people cranking out widgets on a daily basis. But the reality is that 79% of the manufacturers in the state of Vermont are 19 people or fewer. So manufacturing is more along the lines of craftsmanship at this point, especially in Vermont's history, where you have companies along the lines of a Johnson Woolen Mill that's making vests, or Darn Tough, I'm wearing their socks right now, or you might have had some Picnic Provisions sausage for breakfast. These are all different types of manufacturing, and they're all different types of manufacturing. So Vermont's manufacturing, I think, really represents the spirit of what Vermont is in terms of being craftspeople and makers that are really specialists and artists almost in terms of what they do.
I appreciate you providing those examples. Growing up in Vermont, a lot of it was, oh, manufacturing, that's IBM, or now Global Foundries. But seeing the pictures that you brought and shared with us and some of those examples, so what is it that gets you excited about manufacturing? Is it that craftsmanship, the art of making something? What gets you excited about manufacturing today?
There's a lot of things that get me excited about manufacturing. I've always been one of those people that when I get something, I want to tear it apart and figure out how it works and see if there's a chance that I can improve it. And been very fortunate through my career that I've had a chance to see how a lot of different things are made. And through that process, there's a lot of creativity that goes along with it. As once you start to see and understand how something is being made, you can actually start being able to find ways to improve that. And not just the product itself, but a lot of times it's also the processes in which it's done too.
So what do you want Vermonters to know about the Vermont Manufacturing Extension Center, this VMEC? What is it, and what do you want people to know?
So VMEC is part of a national organization that's the MEP National Network. We're a public-private organization.
I'm sorry, jumping in. MEP means?
Manufacturing Extension Partnership.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Because that we are partially federally funded, we have to have a certain amount of acronyms to hit our quota, so I apologize for that. But yeah, every state, including Puerto Rico, has some sort of a branch of a Manufacturing Extension Partnership. We are here to connect resources to needs. We work directly with state and federal government to help and find different resources for manufacturers. We work addressing specific issues within manufacturing, in addition to looking at different ways that manufacturing can be improved in some of the new technology and tools that are coming through this.
Brett, can I jump in for a minute? Is there an example that you can think of that maybe pulls together some of that stuff that you've just been talking about, that support? I'm a manufacturer, so am I coming to you and you're doing some analysis of my work? In other words, when you talk about that support, what is it? What does it look like? So
we are a small team. We're 10 people. However, we do have a whole national organization that we can lean on. Gotcha. and also use as resource. Okay. So for instance, if it's a company that's looking to get Department of Defense contracting, there are certain cybersecurity regulations that are required for that. We here in Vermont, in addition to working with our other partners, we may not have some of the answers for those people, but we can tap back into this national network and see what other states that have larger resources are doing, and because we're not in competition with each other, we share this stuff very openly.
So you not only have this national network that you can draw on, but you have some, I believe they're called sort of specialized areas that maybe VMEC is better known for. I'm unclear about that, but you have some very specialized areas in which you're able to offer advice, support, boots on the ground.
Absolutely. All businesses are unique, and everybody's business is always going to be a little bit different. So we take the time to really partner with any type of manufacturer that we work with to understand what their specific needs are in addition to what their pain points might be. So we have services that can help from the production floor to the front office. And those services can be working with quality control. They could also be working with strategic development. They can be working with cybersecurity, with supply chain, with workforce development. So depending upon the specific needs of whichever manufacturer that we've engaged with, we can tailor our services to meet their needs and meet them where they are, as opposed to opening up a suitcase saying, we have this. We need to understand exactly what it is that they need and how we can help them.
And Brett, when you were giving some examples, I probably should have asked, you know, sometimes again you were pointing out that people think, oh, it's this big warehouse with a bunch of specialized equipment in it. We have close to 1,000 manufacturing companies in Vermont?
Correct. Correct.
I mean, that in and of itself is an impressive number.
It is, and for the population of the state, that is an impressive number. We have a lot of smaller mom and pops type operations, and again, 79% of them being under 19 people really gives us a huge advantage in terms of where these different types of manufacturers are able to start their businesses.
Now, the Vermont Manufacturing Extension Center works statewide, as we've been talking about, but it's located on the Vermont State University, the former, what I should call the Vermont Technical College campus in Randolph. Is there a specific affiliation with Vermont State University? Are there mutual benefits if that's the case?
Absolutely. Vermont State University hosts us in terms of we're sort of a landlord-tenant relationship, but at the same time we're also very involved with the school in addition to being able to have access to the next generation of workforce that's going to be coming through those systems. There's also the Advanced Manufacturing Center that is located on that campus as well.
No, that's key, and I wanted to get to that because you're not only talking about having the next generation of young entrepreneurs, workers available, but this site is important. And take a moment to remind us, tell us what that's all about.
Absolutely. The Advanced Manufacturing Collaborative, as it's now being known as, is a center within Vermont Tech campus, which is now Vermont State University, that has all kinds of manufacturing equipment, from a 5-axis CNC to a lot of what they're calling additive, which is 3D printing for metals and different types of composites, down to water jet cutters and other types of machinery that is used in manufacturing.
And you told me before we get started, this is cutting edge stuff. This is stuff you're going to see in very specialized manufacturing sites, and we have it available right here in Vermont.
And not only available to the students to be able to work on, but available for any manufacturer within the state to be able to come up toward the facility, see if there's a certain, if you're looking or shopping a different type of machinery that you think might be helpful for your business, you can actually be able to try before you buy, if you will, and see that, oh, well, this 3D printer will be able to print us jigs for our machining. So therefore that investment may be worthwhile for us, and it could be even prototyping or other types of CT scanning for quality control and different things that are there. So it's a huge boon for us, and it's a huge boon for the manufacturers in Vermont.
Brett, I have to ask you not about the pandemic, but it was the pandemic that really introduced a lot of us, me, to this concept of the supply chain. We heard the phrase, we learned firsthand what it meant. You have an important new service through VMEC. It's called Connect VT, I think. It's all about the supply chain. So tell us again about the context in which this new service is going to work, this Connects Vermont, and how it's going to, what it does with the supply chain here and nationally.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the pandemic really exposed a lot of weaknesses that were
Boy, did it.
already existing within our supply chain in terms of not being able to get parts, and also kind of highlighting our over-reliance on some foreign suppliers to be an integral part of our manufacturing process. So Connex Marketplace is an online platform that connects U.S. manufacturers to other U.S. manufacturers. It is not a broker type of a site where there are different types of service providers or solicitors that can be on it, but more the MEPs and VMEC in particular are the gatekeepers of this to assure that it's a manufacturer to manufacturer platform. And within this platform, there's two major features. There's a lot of other things that it does, but to simplify it, what I call the Craigslist version and also the Angie's List version of this. So on the Angie's List portion of this, it allows a supplier or a manufacturer to search for a different type of manufacturer in the United States and then filter those searches on distance, on different types of certifications that they may have, on SBA types of certifications if it's veteran-owned or women-owned type companies. It will allow them to search on different materials and become, from a very general term like CNC machining, it can let them become very specific to find the right type of partner that they can reach out to.
And I have to ask briefly, the other version is? The
Craigslist version. So this also allows you to post on a platform called the Exchange Center if you have or looking for a request for a quote, a request for a proposal. You can put all this information out there, and the rest of the platform within the United States can see this and be able to communicate with your company.
Brett, with that, I apologize. I need to stop because we are out of time. I think the most important message that we want to leave is on the screen right now, the website and the phone number. If you're watching us today and you work in manufacturing, you know someone, the Vermont Manufacturing Extension Center is ready and available to help, especially with the supply chain and this new Connex VT program. So visit vmec.org or go ahead and give Brett and his associates a call at 728-1432. Brett, thank you very much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
And that is our program for today. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Michael, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit across the fence.